What's up, guys? It's Corey, and we're back with something completely different. This is Skyforge. It is currently in open beta. I believe it's a Russian game. It is a free-to-play action MMO. It's kind of similar in structure to something like Phantasy Star Online or Destiny or something along those lines. This is referring to Destiny. This is kind of the equivalent of the Tower. It's the Divine Observatory, which is the hub, and that's why you see all these people just standing around. Up here, this is a big ass globe, and this is what you access to find missions. And all of these are different missions, all of these little icons, and they'll tell you like what their reward is. So this one is an open region, which is similar to something like a zone in World of Warcraft, where there's a whole bunch of people running around, and you run around and you do quests, and it's pretty simple. Maybe it's more similar to something like Guild Wars 2. You don't actually have to talk to someone to pick up quests, but they're just like zones on the map, and you go into them, and it'll give you a quest, and then you kill a bunch of stuff to do the quest, and you get your rewards. So it's more similar to Guild Wars 2 in that sense than it is World of Warcraft. But the reason I wanted to play this is just because it's been something that's kind of been keeping my interest for a little while, and the reason that is because of this. This is your character progression. You start all the way over here at the left at this little node. I'm currently playing as Paladin, which you can also see up here at the Paladin tab. So this game has no levels. What it has instead is something similar to Final Fantasy X's sphere grid. And this is the one specific for Paladin. Other classes will have things similar to this, and all of these yellow lines mean that I have completed all of the things in here. So I have gotten enough of these sparks that you just get from drops to purchase all of these skills and all of these nodes that give me increased damage or increased impulse damage, which is this weird mechanic, increased health. So these are all like stat upgrades essentially, and then the ones in the center are all skills and talents. And then all these blue ones are things I have yet to buy, and I still have a lot of them. But that's not the main tree. This is just the class specific tree. The main tree is this. These are the three classes you start off with. You got Paladin, which is standard melee sword and shield kind of guy. You've got Cryomancer, which is like a frost mage essentially. And then you've got Lightbinder, which is kind of a paladin or kind of like a priest. They don't heal. There is no healer in this game, but they do have lots of support skills that you can put absorption shields on people, reduce enemies' damage, like lots of different things that you can do to support your group, but you can't actually heal. So these are the three classes you start off with, and I started off by completing this little circle here, and then all of these skills out here are the same kind of thing, plus strength, plus luck, plus stamina and proficiency, and they also have skills or talents. And these are all class-wide, or like class-neutral, so you can easily swap to a different class. Like I can switch from Paladin to Lightbinder or Cryomancer right now, just by clicking the Change Class button. But I don't feel like doing that quite yet. I'm pretty comfortable with Paladin for the time being. But the thing that's interesting is that this thing is massive. It just keeps going. Which is awesome. Because this is kind of a problem that I've had with a lot of other MMOs, is that once you hit level cap, you stop getting experience. You focus entirely on getting gear, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's just like at the end game, the rules of the game change, and XP becomes a thing that means nothing to you anymore. And I don't really like that. That's kind of why I like things like Diablo 3, because experience is always useful. It's never wasted, even if you're at level 70 or 60 or 70? I think it's 70 now? I forget. Doesn't matter, that's not the point. So this game has a huge number of skills, all of which, skills and talents I guess I should say, all of which are unlocked via, well, let's look at this circle up here. So you see all of these different nodes of different colors, and those correspond to the different sparks down here. You've got sparks of destruction, you've got sparks of creation, and you've got sparks of balance. So you got orange, green, and blue. Orange sparks unlock orange talents, or spheres. Green ones unlock green, and blue unlocks blue. Pretty simple. And then it's when you get to the white ones that they are class specific. So this is Sparks of Justice is specific to Paladin. If I wanted to go to Cryomancer, I could do that. The early ones are these, and then eventually you hit this, and then everything after that is these. So these would be, what are these called? These are Sparks of Cold. So they're specific to the Cryomancer, because why wouldn't they be? And then the same thing is true for the Lightbinder, which is Sparks of Mercy, because they are a support type class. They still do pretty good damage, but they're support. So this is the class specific things which are interesting, and they're the ones that are going to give you your class specific skills. But this thing out here is how you get all of these neutral skills, as well as just unlocking new classes like the Kinetic, or what I'm going for is the Slayer. They use these dual like chain things, chain blades. Kind of reminds me of Kratos's blades from God of War. I forget what they're called. It's been a long time since I've played that. But there's a whole bunch of different classes. You've got Archer down here. You've got Necromancer. I don't know how that works. This is kind of a sci-fi thing, so Necromancer seems like a weird fit, but maybe it's cool. You've got Witch, which seems to focus a lot on damage over time effects, maybe similar to like a Warlock from World of Warcraft. You've got a Slayer, which is a two-handed like melee attacker. They seem to be similar to like maybe an Arms Warrior. Knight is a class that uses a spear, I think, and like a tower shield. They're a tank. Let's see, where are the other ones? You've got Slayer, you've got Kinetic. They seem to use like gravity, and I think their whole shtick is that they're supposed to like rip up rocks and shit from the ground with using the power of gravity, and then hurling them at their enemies. I've heard they're really good DPS also. They are a DPS class. We've got Alchemist. This is the other support class. They are a damage / support kind of thing, just like the Lightbinder. Gunner, they just carry a big ass cannon, which I think transforms into like 2 or 3 different modes. It's got like the standard like sort of rapid fire. It's got a flamethrower, and I think it's like some kind of weird mortar. I'm not really sure. Then you got Monk. They use a big ass bow staff, and I think they can change between 3 different elements. I think it's maybe like air, fire, and earth, I want to say. And all of the different elements have different attacks. So it might be similar to like the different elements for an elementalist in Guild Wars 2, where each element is kind of like a different stance. So this is what has gotten me interested in this game. It seems like it's super interesting. I don't know if I covered the Archer, but that's pretty standard. Use a bow, shoot shit. So then you might be asking, like, if you don't have any level, how do you gauge your power? And that is with this number down here, Prestige. It says Prestige is a key indicator of your character's development that is calculated based on your progression in the Ascension Atlas, which is this thing, and also this thing. Well, more specifically, the Paladin one, because that's the one I'm actually doing. So your Ascension Atlas, your followers, which I'll get into in a second, equipment and weapon boosters. So, let's go check out equipment, which is right here. So like my character looks like this because I have a mechanic costume on. You don't actually have armor. So equipment is maybe a little more similar to something like Borderlands, where you've got a weapon and you've got like the sub thing, and then you've got a bunch of rings. Trophies I haven't unlocked, and amulets I haven't unlocked, so I don't know how to get those yet. I've gotten 3,000 prestige, which has taken me a number of hours. I don't know how long exactly, but it's relatively substantial. There are people with way more than me though, like 10, 20,000 already. And this has been available like in an open beta sense for like a week and a half. And I've been playing pretty much since then. But I haven't been playing a ton, been doing a lot of other stuff. So all of these numbers here, this is your weapon, which gives me 139 prestige. That's the plus 139 in the tooltip. And that's 134, which is pretty simple. And then all of the rings also do the same, in addition to giving you bonus stats like strength and luck. But then these things, these are weapon boosters. And what this does is it just boosts the stats of your weapon. So because of this, my sword is 260 might more than what it would otherwise be. This gives me extra stamina, which is health. It's up 161 more than what it otherwise would. So that one gives me 134, so that plus 161, so, and then all of these are the same thing. And these weapon boosters and ring boosters, or ritual ornament, I guess, they're not tied to these specific rings or weapons or shields. They're just a part of your character. So I can swap out a new weapon and I will still have my rank 4 weapon booster with this extra stuff on it. So it's just like a permanent class upgrade that will upgrade any weapon you equip, and it's really convenient. And then the other thing that I mentioned was followers, which is this thing over here. The whole premise of this game is that you are some kind of god. You are an immortal. You were originally some soldier that died, and then you came back. You just happened to resurrect, and now you're a god. So like as right now, my order is rank 1. I can have adepts, which are my followers. I think. Well, no, these are followers. Adepts are like people you can send on missions. Which I assume is similar to like the way garrisons work in WoW, which I haven't played in a long time, so I don't actually know exactly how garrisons work, but my roommates play it, so I've got a pretty good idea. So I can have 8 adepts right now, and the temple's maximum rank is 4. Temples are a different thing, separate from they're a part of the order, I guess. So I need to get 800 followers to go up to the next rank. And these things will give me like bonuses. So like this one I believe gives me plus 15 might. If I upgraded it to rank 2, it would give me 15 stamina as well. And right now it gives me a 1% health bonus. If I upgrade it again, it would give me a 2% health bonus. Which I believe I can actually just do now. So I just did that. So now I have 15 might, 15 strength, and 2% increased health. So all of that does contribute to my prestige, which is this down here, which is kind of like the only thing I can think of to describe it is it's kind of similar to gamer score on the 360, except it's directly tied to your character's strength instead of tied to achievements. So I've got these patrons, which are people that I have in chapels. Well, I would have in chapels if I could actually, if I had these tablets to do that, which I don't, which is unfortunate. But I'm working on that. So these are my patrons. I blanked on the word. These are adepts. These are people that you send on missions to get you stuff, like these things at the top of the screen. Which is, for whatever reason, not highlighting it. Okay, Fighter's Amulet, and something else. Whatever, doesn't matter. But these are all the people that I have that I can send out on missions to get stuff for me, including more followers. And then these are the missions. So right, this one is complete. These two people will get a bunch of experience. Neither will level up, but they will get a bunch of experience. They will get me messenger necklaces, which can be used for something. And it will give me 23 extra followers. So now my followers have gone up a little bit. So that's how you gain more followers, is by sending people out on missions. I believe it is the blue ones that will give you followers, but they will also require resources. These yellow ones will give you resources, supplies, and ammo, I believe, are the two types you can get. Yes. And then these red ones will give you gifts, and that you can see here that you can send out people, and depending on the classes that you send and the levels, that will affect their chance of success. So I'm not going to do that quite yet, because that's a bad deal. And then these are provinces. This stuff is I'm not entirely sure on. I'm working on it, but this game is a little bit confusing. So let's actually get into the gameplay a little bit and see what the hell this thing actually is, other than just the progression. So right now I've got a quest to go here to Kairos. But we're actually going to go to this place, to Naori Island. This is one of the open regions, and I've done a lot of stuff here already, but I've still got a couple extra things to do. And we'll kind of go over how those work. It's pretty simple stuff. So I just warped into the middle of the map here at this portal or uplink terminal. These things act as terminals. All you gotta do is walk up to them, and they will change from white, like this one, to kind of pinkish purple, like this one. Then I can teleport to it for free if I wanted to. And I can do it for free because I'm a premium, but I didn't really have to pay anything for that, so that's pretty cool. You can do it with these Argents, which are real money, basically. So you see these areas on the map. It'll tell me what I have to do: eliminate carry-on desecrators, vandals, and shamans. And I will get 13 of those blue shards, which are the same ones that you use on the Ascension Atlas. So you can see they're color-coded, and then if you complete everything, you get Particles of Mastery, which are used for upgrading your boosters for your weapons and equipment. So let's go over here. We'll mount up. I seem to be having some issues. Is it just lag? It is lag. Holy shit. This is still an open beta, so servers not perfect. But yeah, I mean, it's a free-to-play game, and it seems to be like the servers are getting hit pretty hard. So maybe that's some of the problem. Also, I'm not sure where the servers are. I think there might only be one server for the US currently. They might have to change that. Also, as it stands, I don't believe you can have more than one character per account. I believe it's just one character per account. Because like when I started, I didn't even have like the chance to create a character until I got through a mission. So I've got to eliminate a bunch of these things. So let's take out this thing, which was really easy. Some of these things are really easy, some are not. Execute that. Hit space to pick up that. So I got a bunch of credits out of that. So by doing my normal attacks, I will gain resources in that blue bar, and then I will spend them by using skills on my action bar. Most of the time, I will do I don't know what exactly the name of the skill is. One left click and then one right click, and it sends up those waves. I have a talent that buffs the damage of those, and that double slash that sends out those waves is really cheap. I believe it's only 80 of that blue resource. So it's a really good way to build up a fair amount of DPS, which this class is not built for. But this is the only melee class available to me at the time, So that's what I'm going with. Also, it's pretty durable, so it's not exactly a bad deal. We got what are called valuables, and they're kind of just generic vendor items. So we can right-click on those to sell, and we'll go over here. This is like an auction house, I believe, but you can just access it whenever you want by pushing N. And you can buy shit, you can sell shit. It's got a log of everything, which is mostly just buying enhancement stones and selling valuables, at least for the time being. Maybe once I get farther in, I'll be buying other stuff. But for the time being, those are the two things I need. So this game is really a lot about this. Like the quests that you go on are not super in-depth. Like there's not a ton of variety in them. Mostly it's go in and you'll find a bunch of items either that you interact with on the ground or that are dropped by enemies and you have to kill those enemies to get them. Or you're just going in to kill enemies to kill them because they're causing a problem. This game does have a story. All of it is voice acted. I don't think any of it is voice acted well. So that's kind of a problem. Also, it just none of it was like appealing. It didn't grab me. So like my main reason to play is not for the story. It is entirely for the gameplay, which is pretty good. And I mean, unfortunately, I would be playing other things if I could, like Phantasy Star Online 2, which just recently had an IP block removed and then reinstated. So you cannot play it out, or at least for the Southeast Asian version of the game. If you want to play the Japanese version, you can still do that. I just have never got into it. I do have an account for that game, but I don't want to worry about patching it or dealing with trying to like navigate through Japanese menus and stuff. So I wanted to get on the English version, and I can't. But for the time being, this game is doing a pretty good job of filling that gap. It's got pretty good action combat. It's not the best. I do still think that Terra plays better in general, but just like the progression system in this game is far more appealing. So I'm playing this a lot more instead. Because there's like they could just add more to that sphere grid, and essentially you could have like infinite character progression, which I don't necessarily need to be infinite, but I want the time that I'm putting in to be worth something. And I feel that way with Diablo 3 a lot because of the Paragon system. Like I'm always getting XP and it's always going towards something. See, I just got a Spark of Justice in that drop. And like as you can see to the left of my health bar, I've got like a very transparent like white circle with an icon in the middle of it. That is for this. It tells me that like that white circle, which is now less transparent, is my progress towards getting the sparks I need to unlock that skill. So we'll hit F to collect my reward, which is 16 of those blue sparks, which are then doubled by 16, or doubled to 32, because of these. Where are they? Replicators. I've got a bunch of these. What these do is they you gain 50% more sparks of evolution, both for class and both general and class ones. So it doubles like my blue, green, and orange sparks. It gives me a bunch more, which is pretty good. So like this is how this area is fairly large, and I can teleport all over the place and do all this shit, and it's pretty good. Like it's got a lot of stuff here, but we're going to actually let's go back into that. We'll teleport back to this, which you can do from anywhere. You don't actually have to go to one to teleport to a different one, which is really nice. That was a weird graphical glitch there, but we're gonna go and we're gonna queue for something. We'll see if we can queue and get into this. We'll go with the group finder, and actually, yeah, we'll try Alchemist. Current class. Okay, apparently I have to go in on my own. For whatever reason. It must be a quest thing, I'm not really sure. I said that I had an adventure currently in progress that I had to do on my own or something, I don't even know. Some of the stuff in this game is not very well explained. So we have to... let's see, I've got these two things here. Fast response, they deal powerful strikes, but can be dodged. Watch for these attacks and evade them. Kill 4 more enemies with 1 below. Not entirely sure I can do that. I'm a paladin. My damage is not very high because of that. So as you can see, I've got a map here. These things are the points of interest for the quest that I'm doing. Well, one or both of them may be for the quest. I'm not entirely sure. One of them could also just be for the dungeon in general. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure like how to differentiate those, if you really can. This thing has been out in Russia a fair bit longer than it has here. I don't know if it's in its final release there, or if it's still an open beta there. I don't really know. All I know is that it was playable there first. And like weirdly enough, I think this game is also being worked on by Obsidian, who they did Fallout New Vegas, and I think they also did that. What the hell is that game? Pillars of Eternity, which was a Kickstarter game. So like they're a pretty well-known publisher. Doing this kind of weird thing. I'm not entirely sure why it's forcing me to do this solo. Like I said, this game does not explain a lot of stuff. Get out of that. You see these balls of light around here? They kind of work the same as like the red orbs in Diablo, where you will run into them and they will heal you. Really want you to get out of that. And that, I don't think that even reached him. Oh, I think those do a ton of damage to him, don't they? Come on. There we go. And whenever you get one of these square chests, it means there's like an item in it. So I got a ring, blue ring. And it doesn't appear to be any better than the stuff we've already got. It does give me an accuracy bonus and a health bonus, but I don't really feel like I need those currently. So we're not going to bother with that. But it does look like I have, like you can see now next to the left of my health, I've got that K. So I can hit K to open up the Ascension Atlas, and I now have 58 Sparks of Justice. So I can get that. And then we'll find the path to this one, and voila, we have a new thing down there. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going, I guess. I believe that white little diamond at the top of my minimap is for my quest for the possessed god on the top right corner of the map, or top right corner of the screen. I believe that's what that is leading me to. So if I do a different number of left-click attacks at the beginning of this, it will do different attacks. So that if I just do one attack, it's that wave thing, and then if I do 2 attacks, it's lightning that comes down, and then if I do 3, it's that big like shockwave thing that you just saw me do, which is that. Which doesn't seem to hit very hard, but it hits a very large area, which is really useful if you're trying to get like AoE threat. Seems like it's really good for tanking it, which I'm kind of doing since I'm playing a paladin. So like I've gotten into a bunch of groups, and whenever it's working like that, the dungeon queuing is relatively fast actually most of the time. It's not like something like WoW or Final Fantasy XIV where it can take upwards of half an hour to get into a dungeon if they're missing a specific archetype. Maybe the 5-man stuff is different in this game, but at least for 3-man content, you can kind of just go in with whatever, and it doesn't really matter. So like I've had a bunch of groups where we went in with 2 tanks and no support, or like 1 support, or like 1 tank and 2 DPS and no support at all, or like you get... There's only the 3 different archetypes and there's no healers, so you don't get a ton of variety just because there isn't a ton of variety to be had.
We ran here seeking
but
safety,
you can definitely go into a dungeon or one of the 3-man squad things without a tank or without a support, and it doesn't really seem to matter so long as you know what you're doing and you're playing intelligently. Whenever you see those big tells like that, make sure you get out of the way of them because they do a lot of damage. Whenever you see that Q icon pop up to the left of my character, that means I can like activate my skill, which is also on my action bar. I believe it's number 8, bottom right corner of my action bar. And it places like a field down on the ground that will make it so that my special skills, like that thing where I shoot out waves from my sword, it doesn't consume any of that blue bar. So basically just makes them resource free. And it'll do that for, I don't know, 15-20 seconds. It's really useful for getting in a bunch of damage. Now where the fuck? Okay. I guess we're just gonna keep this up for a little bit. He's gonna keep summoning guys for a little while. As you see right now, every time I fire out those waves, it is not consuming that blue bar like it was before. And you see I've got that circular icon above my health bar. And as soon as that fades, now it consumes that bar again. And then there's the 2 bars to the right of my health bar and my, I guess I'm just going to call it a rage bar because I don't know what it actually is. There's the bottom one, which is white, and that's just for dashing. Whenever I dash, it consumes one of those charges. I can store up to 3 charges at once. The top one is called Impulse, and it just became active. And what that does, whenever I use a skill that consumes that blue bar, it'll consume that charge and do a bunch of extra damage. So like that one just hit that guy for 700 damage, and I think that was just, I think that's what's called Impulse. and you can get a whole bunch of nodes on the Ascension Atlas that will increase its charge rate, which seems pretty good because it's a ton of damage. So if you can recharge that faster, that would be a substantial damage boost. And then execute that guy. I got a talent that makes that whenever I execute someone, I get a whole bunch of that blue bar back. So it is wise to do so, because getting that resource back is valuable. I do a lot more damage with it than I do without. And there we go, we got a ring and we got 22 Sparks of Justice, which is pretty good. We'll see if that ring is garbage. Good deal. Disassemble it, and we'll get some enhancement stones, and then we can combine those into the rank 2 enhancement stones, and you use those to upgrade your weapon boosters and things. We'll try to thin these guys out a little bit.
Thank you. Try to save the others.
That big wave thing I did is the one at the bottom left of the bar. It's got like a 1.5-minute cooldown, 2-minute cooldown, something like that. It's really good, and you can channel it for a while, and it does a ton of damage. If you channel it, of course. If you don't channel it, and you just like let it pulse once, it won't be very effective, obviously. For whatever reason, I've seen a lot of people that don't know you can channel it. So they'll just do like 1 or 2 waves by accident and then just stop. Which sometimes you have to if you're going to get hit by a big skill or something. But they're doing it just because they don't know any better, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of stuff about this game that is kind of like partially broken. And I guess that's partially because it's an open beta, I'm sure. And maybe some of it's just because it's like this weird Russian game that I don't have a ton of experience playing Russian-made games. I don't think, anyways.
Damn Larion and his man-tide allies.
That guy was just like flailing his arms all over the place. I don't know what the fuck that was. So I just got a better sword. Increases my might by 142, and this one increases it by 139, but it does give me a bonus. Yeah, whatever. We'll go with it. And you see that gave me +3 prestige because I equipped a better piece of equipment. So, like, everything you do to improve your character adds to that number, which is why it's so representative of your character's strength. I think it's actually a really good system. It's something that I think games like Final Fantasy X were really missing. Because, like, trying to describe to my friends how powerful my party was, if I was having difficulty on a boss or something, was nearly impossible, because you can't just tell them, oh, my party is level 60 or level 70. You'd be like, my characters have, like, 5,000 health or something, and they might get kind of a somewhat accurate description based off of that, but it's very incomplete. And with this prestige number, you can get a far more accurate picture, and it's still not perfect because like you're not taking into like how they've geared their character, what type of stats they're focusing on, that sort of thing. So you're not getting like all of that information in it, but you're getting something that is far more representative of your character's actual ability, which is pretty cool, and it's really good for like just finding groups. Yeah, it's an easy way to determine whether or not a character or like a person's character is strong enough to be of use for you in your party. It's just a good little metric. I guess kind of similar to something like item level. in World of Warcraft, which I know it's a big deal for quite a while after some mods and stuff came out that displayed that, and I think eventually they just rolled that into the base UI. Well, actually, I think maybe at first it was just like a gear score mod, where all of your items were assigned a value, maybe just based on their item level, and then I think eventually they just rolled the item level into the descriptions of the base game, so you didn't worry about mods and shit to find your gear score. No, still nothing. I was hoping. I would like to upgrade that shield, but it is not giving me something that I want. Huh, weird. So I get to talk to it?
You're too late, immortal. Even if you kill me, nothing is going to change. Your god Nerion has turned to our side now. Leave! Do not fight the inevitable! Liar! It was your god that came to us first. We had no choice but to obey. You would have done the same in our...
I don't... What? Why did my character disappear?
Enslave? Nerion thinks and acts of his own free will. We give to him nothing but our faith. At least for now. It is not easy to turn an immortal, but very soon our great goddess will manifest here, once she is powerful enough, and then Aelion will shudder in the throes of horror.
Okay, so now she's hostile. Cool. So one of the things that I do like about this game, which is something that I believe Terra also does, is it stacks up enemies' health bars, and there's really, I don't think there's any real, really good reason to do that. It's just like an aesthetic thing that I really like. Kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, which is the first game that I saw that did that. It probably wasn't the first game that actually did it. But it's just like a cool, aesthetically, interesting thing about the UI. Which is somewhat rare because I don't think the UI for most of this game is any good. Okay. If I got hit by that, that would have been pretty bad. I don't have any party members to back me up. Okay, let's get the fuck out of there. I got hit by that once accidentally when I was doing a group thing, and it really sucked. God damn it. This is the problem of being a paladin, though, is that I can't attack her from range, and even when I do get in range, my DPS is not great. But I do have this charge, so I can get in pretty quick. Okay, let's get the fuck out of there. I don't know why the explosion radius is so big on that thing. It doesn't seem like it would based on the animation. Let's get out just to be safe, assuming I fucking can. I got stuck on that bench. I probably could have taken her out before it detonated, but I wasn't entirely sure. There we go. So we got a sword, which I believe is worse than the one that I just picked up. We got... Let's see, let's actually take a look at this. We got a C rank. We got 97 of these orange sparks, which I forget which ones they are. And we got 17 particles of mastery, which are used for upgrading our boosters. So I guess that's a pretty good look at this game, and it kind of shows you like how things work. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you the matchmaking because that quest I was on wouldn't let me. So yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate, but hopefully you guys got a pretty good idea of what this game actually is. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. I don't know how much content there is yet, but it's still an open beta, so they have the potential to add a lot. But they are taking money, so maybe that's not enough. But it's free to play, and the combat's pretty good, and it looks pretty good. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. I may do more if there seems to be any kind of interest in this. So guys, thanks for watching. If you do like it, let me know. Like the video. If I do get a fair amount of response, I will do more. I don't know if they'll be commentated or not. They might just be like dungeon videos. You could like subscribe if you want to see more. If I do get a response, I'll keep doing this. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll continue this maybe next time.